Cold plunges, infrared sauna, intermittent fasting, meditation. That is biohacking, right? To an extent, yes, but also no. There is so much more to biohacking, and this term has become a trend very recently, but I'm so glad that it has, because the term biohacking means that you are in control of your health. You are in control of your life, and by changing simple things, bringing it back to basics, you can elevate your health, you can elevate your skin, you can elevate these symptoms that have been normalized, which aren't normal. Biohacking has become a buzzword, so you've probably heard it before, but if you haven't, then biohacking is a term used to describe various tips and tricks for enhancing your body's ability to function at peak performance and even expand your lifespan. It's all about peak performance and longevity, being the healthiest version of yourself and living for as long as you possibly can. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds great, and why would I not want to do that? Irregular periods, cravings, addiction to social media, alcohol, drugs, nicotine, stress. If you are experiencing any of these things, then biohacking can and will help you change these things. Obviously, I have no medical experience. I am not a doctor and I will never claim to be, but I am just going to be talking and sharing with you from my personal experience biohacking tips that have helped me and natural things that you can do in your daily life that might elevate your health. I know the lighting will change in this video as the sun is setting right in front of me, so I apologize for that. I want to save you time, so that's why in this video I have compiled my 6 simple biohacking tips for you, and I will give you tips on how you can incorporate these easily into your day-to-day life using things like habit stacking. And trust me, I know you are busy and I know these things might seem like effort, but good things don't come easily, right? And putting in that effort is going to make the results so much more worth it, and you are going to appreciate it so much more, I promise you. So it's not so easy, but it is simple. Before I get into this, I also want to just express that you are doing great. You have made the best decisions that you could have made with what you had. So where you're at now is amazing, and give yourself that credit. First biohack is the order in which you eat your food. This is all about balancing your blood sugar levels. This was probably the thing that impacted me the most. I actually lost my period for around 1 year. It was very irregular and then I lost it, and yeah, it just kind of never came back. I really didn't understand why until I realized that my body was probably under a lot of stress. Although my mind and my mental did not feel very stressed, I was fine. I can cope with stress. Like, I think I have a very high stress tolerance, you know? I run a business, I do a lot of things, and I can cope, it's fine. But my body is very different, and my body and mind do not communicate so much. So my body was stressed, which meant that I lost my period for a long amount of time. Now, this simple biohack of changing the order in which I eat and eating at regular times, this was exactly what I needed. So some parts of biohacking is fasting. You know, fasting with your cycle and learning your body and fasting. Whereas for me, it was eating regularly and not fasting anymore. I was doing intermittent fasting, it didn't work at this time. By the order of eating your food, what I mean is starting with savory. Never starting your day with something that can spike your glucose levels, that can spike your blood sugar levels. This means when you drink caffeine, for example, you usually get a bit of a high. Maybe you're like tolerant to it, so you might not feel it, but you might feel it in your body that you get a little bit excited. The same with sugar. If you eat something really sugary, you might also get that feeling of like, whoa, I have energy, or you might get that crash. When you eat a big meal and you crash, this is your blood sugar levels. This is your glucose levels. I'm talking about the same thing here when I say blood sugar and glucose. So just, to clarify. But when you have those spikes, those ups and downs, this means that those levels are up and down. And what we want to do is we want to try and stabilize them as much as we possibly can. And a great hack for this is starting your day with something that doesn't spike your glucose levels, that doesn't start your day with your body like, whoa, or crashing. We want to make our body feel safe and satiated at the same time. So The biggest shift, or like the smallest like change that I made that had the biggest impact, was having a savory, high protein and even high fat breakfast. That could be yogurt, that could be eggs, that could be fish, that could be avocado, you know? And once I did this and stuck to this at a regular time and stuck to my meals at a regular time, I quickly got my period back and my body started to look a lot better. I was way less bloated and food just sat with me so much better. And also, when you do this, you have less cravings throughout the day for sweet things, because when you start your day with something sweet, then you are most likely going to crave that throughout the day. But when you start your day with something savory, something satiating, you are not going to have those sugar cravings throughout the day. This light right now is so amazing. We don't get the sun so much in Sweden, so this sunlight, that is a biohack as well. Your attitude is a biohack. Your attitude towards your life, your attitude towards yourself. This is a biohack because it will change your life. However you think, however your internal thinks, will reflect your external, will reflect your outside world. I think a lot of us do not understand this, or we easily forget this. I can easily forget this too, but you will know that when you are having a bad day, when something bad happens and your mind is feeling very negative, more bad things happen. You attract more bad things. You notice the annoying, frustrating things. That person walking really, really slow in front of you, and you're annoyed because you have to go to work and you don't enjoy your work, and then someone's walking slow, you're going to be late, your manager is going to be angry. It just compiles. And it's so frustrating. But your attitude towards your life and your attitude towards yourself, your attitude towards developing yourself will result in you being a healthier, happier version of yourself. And biohacking, as we mentioned, is all about your peak performance, operating at your peak potential. And when you have a positive attitude towards life, when you're trying new things, when you're saying, yes, I can do this, when you're believing in yourself, you are operating at your peak potential. If you are healthy, you're more likely to live longer. If you are thinking good about yourself, you're more likely to be healthy. It's kind of like this circle, right? This like longevity, peak performance, biohacking circle. And if you're feeling sad with yourself, then maybe you will eat bad food. Maybe you will emotionally eat. Maybe you will not work out. Then you will do all of the things that are going to reduce your health, reduce your lifespan, and go against these biohacking principles. For the ladies, this is all about hormones. Now, of course, men have hormones too, and it's very important to keep those balanced. But ladies, sadly, we're complex and we have cycles, and doing things like all this it's almost like all the decisions you make have to coincide with your cycle, which can be both exhausting, but it can be empowering. And again, it's about that attitude. You can see this as so annoying, or you can see this as empowering. Like, oh my God, I have the information now, I can work with the information. That is giving the power back to you, okay? It doesn't have to be, oh my God, I have all this information, I've been doing everything wrong, I'm so overwhelmed, I don't know where to start. No. You have this information. All you have to do is implement little things into your day-to-day, habit stack little things, and you can change your life. It's really empowering. By your hormones and your cycle, what I mean is what you are eating, how you are moving your body, how you are spending your time, how social you are being, what you are doing in work. If you can correlate or coincide all of these things with your cycle, you are going to feel so much better. For example, I have now realized that a few days before my period, I feel very weak in the gym. And I never matched this up, so I would always get really frustrated. Why can't I lift as heavy as I can lift? Really annoyed with myself, not feeling good. Whereas now I'm like, okay, it's before my period, I understand why this is happening, so I can just take it easy. It just gives you that peace of mind. If I know that I have a very, very energetic week, if I'm ovulating, for example, I'm very energetic, I have a lot of energy. I can do more in the gym and I can do more. I can do more meetings, I can do a lot of social work, I can record videos, for example. That's what it's about, getting to know your cycle. Download the app Flow, it's completely free. This really helped me to just track things, and also just having it in your weekly, your daily calendar, really trying to track things, it only takes around 3 months of tracking, and then you can kind of get used to it and understand your body. Stress levels. As I mentioned, I have a high tolerance for stress and I'm pretty much always stressed. So this is something that I'm still working on. Your cortisol and your stress, that is like the same thing. And when you are very stressed, your body is operating under a state of fight or flight, which is not good, because usually the stress that we are facing in modern day society is not like the stress that we used to face. It's not like I need to run and eat a meal in the freezing cold and then I need to sit around a fire. It's not like we're putting our body under good stress, like when you do hot and cold plunges, but it's like, oh my god, I need to send this email, I need to do 5 other tasks, I need to put my kids to bed. It's like, it's not like healthy stress that we're putting onto ourselves. So a biohack is balancing your stress levels. When you are very stressed and when your cortisol is high, your whole body is going to react to that. Your gut will react, you will get more bloated, your hormones will be out of sync. It's all a big circle again. So what I do recommend is creating a routine that can wind you out of stress. So whether that is like a self-care routine that can get you out of that stress. Before bed, when you've had a long day, okay, what can you do to get you out of that like overstimulated mind of work and endless to-do list? Whether it is to watch your favorite program and totally zone out, whether it's to do a quick meditation, or whether it is to read, whether it's to just sit and stare at a wall, go for a walk, whatever it is, have your little routine which is like a de-stressor. If you are a highly stressed person, I can relate. Having a de-stress routine will really, really help you. And we also have to see this as a long-term gain. I know when you have a lot on your plate, it's really hard to de-stress, and it's really hard to want to de-stress, because you're like, this is good, I have a lot to do, I need to feel it, I need to be in the stress because I have a lot to do, I need to do it. But if we're thinking long-term about our longevity and our lifespan and how we want to be in the future and how healthy we want to be, let that push you to do the de-stress. Let that push you to have that de-stress routine, because when you do that, you will live a longer, healthier, happier life. And that is what we want. We want to be able to run our businesses. We want to be able to be there for our children, etc., etc. So having this de-stress routine will allow you to do that. I recommend having in the morning and before you go to bed, but even some way that you can do that throughout the day. If I am having a very overwhelming day, for example, it might just be a 10-minute walk, and this helps so much, and it's really, really nothing at all. It's a 10-minute walk. Or it could be, I always use Superhuman, the meditation app, which I talk about a lot, doing a meditation from that, whether that's just a 5-minute pep talk where I don't do anything. For me, a lot of de-stressing is about clearing my mind, whereas for you, it could be scrolling on your phone. We're all different. Although I don't really recommend scrolling on your phone, because then it's just like stress on the eyes, the blue light and all of that, but I don't know. Toxins in your products, your makeup, your soaps, your dishwash products, whatever it is, we are exposed to around 197, 198 different toxins per day, especially as women, because we wear makeup, and I am not perfect. I am wearing makeup right now. I have recently invested in more organic makeup, which has less ingredients, and I feel really good about that. I feel like it aligns with my future self, but I'm still working on this. I still want to wear less makeup. I still want to use organic, like washing powder for my clothes, but these things, society's messed up. To get non-poisonous products, you have to pay more. That's the reality. So I understand that this one might not be achievable for many, but also if you're bringing it back to the basics, sometimes that doesn't have to be expensive, and sometimes that doesn't have to be complicated, because it can actually be like using beef tallow on your skin rather than skincare products, for example, rather than a moisturizer. And that is like a cheap alternative. Bathroom products, shower products, skincare, organic makeup, those things aren't cheap. If you have the money to invest in those things so that you're not exposed to 200 toxins a day, then I do recommend it. But if you don't stress. The main things to focus on when it comes to biohacking is the things that you can control, is the things that are not going to cause you more stress, because biohacking is all about relieving that stress. So out of this list that I've given you so far, what can you control and what can you change in your life? And I mentioned habit stacking in this video, and if you haven't read the book Atomic Habits, it's the best book on habits, the best book on applying new habits. So it takes around 66 days to apply a new habit. And habit stacking is basically whenever you already do a habit that you have, for example, it might be brushing your teeth, it might be going to the bathroom first thing in the morning, whatever you automatically do, what habit can you stack on top of that habit? So every time you brush your teeth, or before you brush your teeth, could you do a 5-minute meditation, for example? Or every time you make lunch, could you check into flow and track your cycle? Could you start to just look at that every day and track your mood? Like, how can you habit stack on habits that you already do? And he also expands on removing the bad habits and applying new ones. It's a great book, but I would definitely recommend habit stacking. So maybe you make a coffee every morning at the same time. Could you check in with your Flow app then? We want to start small and slowly build it up. This is how we're going to be able to sustain it over a long amount of time. Here are some small biohacks which you can do right now. Number 1 is cold showers. I actually don't do cold showers. I only do cold showers when I'm doing the sauna, but I have, my best friend does cold showers every single morning. So you can do that. I don't. I always make the shower cold at the end, which is great, and I love ice bathing, but that is it. Cold showers is a great biohack, putting your body under stress and then taking it out of that stress. It's great. It's good. It's not cortisol stress, it's a different type of stress on your body, not on your brain. Sauna, relieving stress, movement, mindset, and your environment. Are you spending time in nature? Are you surrounded by good people? These are all small biohacks and small ways that you can become a healthier person. It's so crazy because biohacking sounds very complicated and very scientific, but there's so many simple things that you can do, and it's actually biohacking your life. Also, spend time worrying about what you can control and not what you can't. We spend so much time worrying about the world, worrying about climate change, worrying about these big world issues, but what can you control right now? Yes, those things are very, very important, but what are you actually in direct control of? Because once you can do that, then you can start to expand on bigger social issues that you might really care about. And the world needs people who care, of course, but the world needs people to care for themselves first, so that they are strong enough to care for bigger world issues. Now, my loves, bring it back to the basics. I always go back to this on this channel, but what we want to do is we want to bring it back to basics. In a world where we have gone sideways, we want to bring it back to the basics. If you haven't watched my video on modern day society and how to stay healthy, then definitely watch that one, because if you liked this, then you will love that. So back to basics, but make it fun. Have a beautiful day, week, month, life. I upload videos every Sunday at 11 AM. So see you next week. Bye.